Good evening and welcome to a summary of the news. His Majesty the King paid a surprise visit to the Rehabilitation and Vocational Training Center for People with Disabilities in Rsaife, which is run by the Ministry of Social Development, to check firsthand on its services. The King stressed during a tour of the facility the need to improve its condition, raise the level of services and upgrade its equipment. He said elevating the level of training at the center and the other facilities for people with disabilities across the kingdom is necessary in order to build their capacity and enable them to find jobs and raise their living standards. His Majesty called for more attention to be paid to quality training and creating a suitable environment in all rehabilitation centers countrywide. The King directed the Royal Court to work with the government to improve infrastructure and upgrade technical equipment at the center within the next weeks. The center offers training for 2 years for about 60 young men and women with minor disabilities within the age group of 16 to 30 years, with the aim of vocationally qualifying them to become productive members and self-reliant. His Majesty the King accepted the credentials of a number of newly appointed ambassadors to the kingdom. During a ceremony at Basman Palace, the King received the credentials of Ambassador of Thailand, Pornpong Kanitanon, Ambassador of Indonesia, Andi Rachimanto, Non-resident Ambassador of Panama, Thomas Guardia, and non-resident Ambassador of Rwanda, Williams Nkurunziza. The envoys later laid wreaths at the tombs of the late King Hussein, King Abdullah I, and King Talal. Jordan condemned as a heinous act the terrorist attacks that targeted innocent civilians in London yesterday. State Minister for Media Affairs and Government spokesperson Mohammed Al-Momani said the attacks carried out by evil gangs are a vicious crime against humanity, adding that such cowardly acts revealed the barbaric means used by criminal thugs to destabilize countries. Momani stressed Jordan's support to Britain in countering terror gangs, stressing the need for concerted global efforts to fight terrorism and terrorists wherever they are. He also offered the government's condolences to the British government and the families of the victims and wished the injured speedy recovery. 7 people were killed by terrorists who drove a van at high speed into pedestrians on London Bridge and then stabbed travelers in the nearby Borough Market area late yesterday. Some 50 others were injured, some in critical condition. This is Britain's 3rd terrorist attack in as many months and comes just 5 days before a national election, which British Prime Minister Theresa May said would go ahead as planned. Here's more.
Police efforts focused on a deadly militant attack in London Saturday night. Authorities say at least 6 people were killed, as well as 3 attackers in what officials are calling an act of terror. Police say they believe there were no additional attackers beyond the 3 who were shot and killed by armed officers. 3 major London hospitals are now on lockdown to keep patients and staff safe. They say at least 30 people were taken in by ambulance for injuries. Police say they were called out to reports of a van plowing through pedestrians and passers-by on the London Bridge. Shortly after that, emergency services answered reports of stabbings in nearby Borough Market. Officials say armed units responded within minutes of the first emergency call. Police say the attackers wore what looked like explosive vests, which were apparently hoaxes. Dozens of people caught in the attack in the area were later escorted through a police cordon, some witnesses describing what they saw.
And how many people did you see them stab?
3, maybe more. I think more than 5.
Oh, they don't care. Just stand up there. The police was in front and they was stand up. Let's do it. Just do it.
Surrendered. They submitted.
No.
They fought the police.
Yeah.
Islamic State sent out a call earlier on Saturday to its followers to launch attacks during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. London's Thames River Police says it's working with lifeboat rescue to locate any people that had jumped away from the attack on the bridge.
The Amman prosecutor referred the expired chicken case to the Attorney General a day after the arrest of several people and the seizure of 80 tons of poultry in Karak and Amman that was unfit for human consumption. The Amman governor named 5 people and 2 companies involved in the case and ordered them to be detained after the expired food shipment was discovered by the Jordan Food and Drug Administration. The chicken shipment, bought 5 months ago from local slaughterhouses and poultry companies and stored in Amman warehouse, was destined for distribution to charities in Karak, Amman and Amman. Meanwhile, head and members of the Parliament's Health and Environment Committee said the food and health of Jordanians are a red line and rejected any manipulation of food security. At a meeting chaired by Deputy Ibrahim Banihani on the issue, the MP stressed the need to hold accountable all people involved in the case and pledged to reinvigorate and reinforce oversight on foodstuffs. It was also agreed upon to invite the Prime Minister and the Ministers of Health, Industry and Trade, Agriculture and Interior and other concerned bodies for a briefing on government measures taken to ensure the well-being of citizens, their health and food security. The Iraqi military said that Shiite paramilitaries have captured the Iraqi town of Ba'ish from Daesh terrorists, further shrinking the northern region under their control as part of a US-backed campaign to retake the city of Mosul. The Iraqi Air Force provided cover for the thrust into Ba'ish of the Shiite paramilitaries known as Popular Mobilization. 8 months into the Mosul offensive, Daesh terrorists have been dislodged from all of the city except an enclave along the western bank of the Tigris River. Euphoric Real Madrid supporters celebrated in the Spanish capital the club's 12th Champions League Cup after Los Blancos annihilated Juventus 4-1 in a superb final full of attacking verve and brilliant goals. The Spaniards have won the title for the 3rd time in 4 years. Cristiano Ronaldo scored the 1st and 3rd goals to become only the 2nd man to score in 3 European Cup finals and take his career goal tally to 600. Not my favorite kind of news. And finally, moderate conditions continue in most regions for the rest of tonight, with light variable winds. As for tomorrow, relatively hot conditions prevail across the kingdom with a high of 33 degrees Celsius in Amman. The Gulf of Aqaba should expect hot conditions, with mercury levels registering a high of 39 degrees, while winds will be northerly moderate and the seas slightly high. And that's all for tonight. I'm Ali Tuqan. Thank you for joining us and have a pleasant evening.